For front-end languages, you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML is more like the markup language. It just gives content on the web page, right? And then CSS is what gives it a little bit of, look and feel. Now, JavaScript comes in the behavioral aspect. Maybe when you hover on a specific button, you see some drop downs. You click on the drop down, it triggers something, takes you to the next page. This is where JavaScript comes in. So all these three works hand in hand. And once you're done with all that, you want to start moving up to frameworks. Like there are several frameworks, UI frameworks, front-end frameworks, whatever you want to call it, like Angular frameworks, React, Vue.js, Next.js. There's a lot of them, but for a beginner, I would not focus on trying to know everything at once. Like I said earlier, focus on one front-end language, one server-side language, and one database language, and then hone your skills towards those three. The idea is for you to understand how this programming works. Then once you get to the point of understanding, you will realize that all programming language does the same thing. They just have different syntax. So don't worry about other programming language as a beginner. Focus on one and start on that. Today, I'll be taking you on an exciting journey. What would I do if I were to start coding from the scratch in 2024? Let's dive in. The tech industry is booming more than ever. With the rise of AI, machine learning, and other cutting-edge technologies, the demand for skilled programmers is skyrocketing. Plus, coding can open doors to countless career opportunities and even enable you to create your own tech innovations. With a very good coding skills, you can create your own startup company, you can create an enterprise application, or you can even solve multiple solutions for different organizations. You have to choose the right language if you were to start from scratch. In 2024, if I were to start from scratch, I would begin with a language like Python, because Python is pretty beginner friendly, versatile, and widely used across various fields from web development to data science. So Python is pretty easy for someone that is starting from scratch with zero experience with programming. But don't just stop there. JavaScript is very good for web development. So I would say there is no web development without JavaScript, because when you start with HTML, CSS, you have the look and feel to the web page. You want to add a behavioral character to the web page. So that's where JavaScript comes in the picture. And then you have other backend or server-side, language like C#, Java. In my case, I went for C#. So C# is really good. It does a lot of things. Server side, you can even use C# for game development, or even Swift for iOS apps, and can be great choices. So there's a whole lot of programming languages out there, but I would say just focus on one at the start. So look at it like this. You need a language for front end, you need a language for server side, back end, and then you also need a language for database side. So there are different languages for all these three segments. Just choose one and learn it and be very good at it for you to understand how programming works. Then you can go from there and leverage your skills on other languages if you want to learn them in the future. Now that you've decided on what language you want to learn, our next step is to double up on the learning resources. The internet is a treasure of learning materials. I'll start with a free platform like Code Academy, Coursera, Free Code Camp for structured learning parts. Don't forget to leverage YouTube tutorials and Stack Overflow for troubleshooting and community support. So once you decide on what language you want to learn, now it's time for you to start getting curious on how does this work. You have to double up on the learning span and also doing more research to follow up on your knowledge. Right after that, that is when the interest starts coming in. You have to start getting your hands dirty, hands-on practice. Theory is important for you to understand the fundamentals of how a programming language works. But coding, actual implementation, getting your hands dirty, practical, that is all about the practice. You tackle coding challenges for sites like LeetCode, HackerRank to build problem-solving skills. Start small projects. Matter of fact, embarking on a project is the best way to learn, because you will start having the real-life understanding of how programming works. You start getting into errors. You start understanding how to debug. Get into small project like a personal blog, a to-do list app. This can provide hands-on experience. GitHub is your friend. Set up a repository on GitHub. It's a fantastic place to showcase your project and collaborate with others. I created a video on C#, roadmap to C#, and the .NET framework. It gives you a beginner guide from scratch to advanced level on how C# works. Moving on, joining a programming community is a very essential aspect of learning programming. Don't go at it alone. Don't learn it by yourself. Don't be a lone wolf. You have to join a community of like-minded learners, participate in an online forums, attend coding meetups, and engage in social media groups of programming individuals. Networking with others can provide support, motivation, and even job opportunities. So you have to put yourself out there, be in the same environment of people with like minds, and learn up. If you can make it to this point, congratulations. Now you need to start looking at building a portfolio of programming projects. As you progress, start building a portfolio, include your best projects, your code snippets, and even blog about your learning journey. A strong portfolio can make you stand out to potential employers or clients. Setting up a GitHub profile is a good example of building a portfolio. So that way you can start pushing different projects that you build or even a code snippet that you build into your code repository. And that keeps stacking up as your coding experience. It's a very good reference for potential employers. Now, at this point, you need to start staying updated because programming is a skill that keeps you on top of your game. The moment you slack, the moment you stop learning, you will realize that tech is a non-stop field. Things you know in 2024 might become obsolete or outdated in 2025 or 2026. The tech world evolves rapidly. I'll stay updated by following tech news, subscribing to blogs, and engaging with coding community on Twitter or other social media. Continuous learning is key to staying relevant. When you're at this point, now it's time to start setting goals. Set a clear goals and stay motivated, whether it's landing a job, building an app, or contributing to an open source. Having a goal keeps you focused. And remember, everyone faces challenges along the way. Persistence and passion are your best allies. And there you have it, folks. That's my roadmap if I were to start coding from scratch in 2024. I hope this guide inspires you to kickstart your own coding journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Happy coding.